Hello and welcome back to my craft room. You might have already seen my video that I did for the for number 40 prompt squad, which was One Hue blue. So I was quite pleased with this. I'm still quite pleased with it, but I've decided I can't resist having a little bit more of a tinker with it, and I'm gonna go in with some colour pencils in the same shades of blue that I've used there. I might ruin it, but I've got photos and you know I've got it on video, so I'm not really bothered too much. It's just a little sketchbook thing anyway, so it's fine. I thought I'd show you first the photo reference that I started off with. So let me just see if I can. So this was the photo that I started off with, and what I've done is I've brought that into OBS, which is the software that I use for filming and streaming, and I've applied some filters to it, so you can see all the different things I did to change it. I had a great time playing with all of this, I really did. I'd love to actually do something like that as well. It'd be really good. There's so much you can do with this. Anybody who's watching has got OBS and didn't realise, like me, didn't realise you could do all of this. It's great. There's one where you can pixelate an image, you can just warp it, you can do all sorts. So I'm every week my son, who's an absolute technical wizard, I'm being a technical wizard's apprentice, and every week I'm learning new tricks and things from him. He's a very patient teacher, so and this, you know, it just gives me a lot more scope, and it's nice to be able to share what I'm looking at with you while I'm working. I've got it in the wrong place. Let's move it over here. That's better. Oh, I've got myself in the wrong place, but it's easier to move that than move myself. So I've been doing a lot of research while I was doing this blue thing. I've been doing a lot of research about blue pigments throughout history, and I've got a little potted history. So what I'm going to do is I will probably nip between the original photo reference and this one that I've tinkered with while I'm doing my colour pencils, and it might take me a really short time or it might take me a really long time, but while I'm doing that I'm going to speed through and I'm going to tell you this little potted history that I found out about blue pigments. It's absolutely fascinating. I knew some of it already, but here we go. So again, you can see what I'll put that there over my cup of coffee. I'm just going to have a little tinker with this. I might even actually just get myself a white as well. Okay, so I've got the pencils I've got are a mixture. I've got some artful ones, I've got some polychromos, probably got a Prismacolor there. Is that a Prismacolor? And this one's called Kingfisher. Oh, you're right, so that's the same, that really is the same, because that's what the gouache was called, which is also an artful thing, so obviously they've used the same. That's reassuring. I have picked out the right colour then. This one's called Cloud Blue. That'd be quite a good highlight colour. Obviously there's a white. This one I think was indigo, dark indigo, so this will be the equivalent of that blue black that I mixed up there. And then this one's called Azure, which I thought was good for that. So I'm just gonna because it was quite hard with a paintbrush to really get the eye shapes and things, and I just thought I might I might put a bit more detail in the ear and things like that. So yeah. Oh, and I did discover, well I knew already, but you know, just to prove a point, that if you get the gouache wet it will move, and I managed to not only get it wet but streak it right across as well as I was clearing up, so you can see it streaked right across there as well. So I'm hoping I can also cover that up. And the other thing I might do is a quote. I've been scrolling through a whole load of quotes about the colour blue, and there was one, I think it was a Celine Dion lyric, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't dislike her, but I'm not a huge fan of that kind of music. But paint my mood in shades of blue. I think that's what it was. I'll paint my mood in shades of blue. So I might just make that and just put some words here, or I might put the prompt instead. I might write the prompt down now. I haven't decided yet. Okay, so here I go. As I say, this will either be hours and hours, or it'll be a 10-minute job. I'll see you in a minute. One of the many things I love about gouache paints is the way you can use colour pencils over the top like this. Is brilliant. So, finding out about blue pigments, I went down a really long rabbit hole. So one of the first blue pigments we know of was a natural mineral called azurite. Later on, the ancient Egyptians invented something we know as Egyptian blue, and that continued to be popular all through the times of the Roman Empire. But the recipe became lost, and during the Middle Ages, medieval times, all we had was azurite and ultramarine. They were both very, very costly. The ultramarine came from Afghanistan, and it was made out of lapis lazuli. These were so expensive they only would have been available to very rich clients, and would have been saved for really important figures in the painting, like religious figures or royalty. In 1824, skipping forward quite a long way, the first synthetic ultramarine was created. There's some question over whether it was the French scientist or the German scientist that got there first, but the French nabbed it, and ever since it's been known as French ultramarine. During the 17th and 18th centuries, indigo was a really popular plant-based dye. It was popular because it was cheap, and we imported loads of it. And then in 1880, the first synthetic indigo was created, and this is what you would know as the colour of your denim jeans. Interestingly though, just recently they've discovered that the bacterium E. coli can produce the same chemical reaction as indigo, and this is known as, they've created a dye from it called bio-indigo. So this is going to be an eco-friendly dye of the future, hopefully. Going back again to 1703, this is when the colour we know as Prussian blue was created. It was an accidental invention by a dye maker in Berlin, and later on an English astronomer found accidentally again that it was sensitive to light, this Prussian blue, and this property could be used to create copies of a drawing called blueprints. So I must look into that and see if you can do it at home. That sounds really fun. Interesting, it's also used as a treatment for heavy metal poisoning. Now I'm coming right forward to 1960, and this is when IKB, or International Klein Blue, was created by the artist Yves Klein. Wow, I mean, this guy died at 34, but what an interesting man. I'm going to find out lots more about him. I'd heard of him before, but what an interesting person. I keep saying the word interesting because this is all fascinating to me. Anyway, Klein was obsessed with blue, and he worked with a paint dealer in Paris to create IKB, and it's kind of a matte version of ultramarine. And coming way forward into 2009, this is when a colour known as Oregon blue or Maz blue, or I don't know how you're supposed to say this, but it's capital Y, capital I, N, capital M, N, Yinmin blue. And it's called that because it's made of yttrium, indium and manganese. It was another accidental discovery by scientists, Professor Maz Subramanian and postgraduate student Andrew E. Smith. And I noticed that you can now buy that pigment on eBay. It's quite expensive, but you can buy it, and it does look gorgeous, even in the photos. The most recent one I could find was the Prettiest Blue, which is one of Stuart Semple's creations. It's a beautiful, like a fluorescent sky blue. It comes in a highly pigmented powder form, and you can mix it with water, or you can mix it with linseed oil to make like an oil paint, or you can mix it with an acrylic base. Yeah, it looks really gorgeous. It's not probably the cheapest, but it does look lovely. I do love it. I've got a few of his products, and while I was looking at the blue, I did get tempted by something else altogether, but that is a story for another day and another video. If you don't know about the story, the ongoing saga between Stuart Semple and Anish Kapoor, look it up. It's absolutely fascinating. But I guess, end of the day, it's probably led to Stuart Semple creating all these amazing products that you can get on his website. So yeah. Well, I'm just about done now with this, and I think I'm ready to hand back to my other self. I think I've finished twiddling with that. I've made her look a bit more like a girl instead of a boy again, by giving her some eyelashes and just changing the face shape a little bit. She's got a lovely face, the girl I was drawing from. Maybe I'll have another go with her. Yeah, not sure how much I've added by putting the wording in and stuff, but I quite like the look of it, so, and that's what matters. So that's me done for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you found that interesting or fun to watch, and I will see you again really, really soon. Bye.